Hi everyone, Bill Dundak here with another Temple 418 service. So let us begin with an opening prayer. Lift up your heads, O houses of eternity, for my Father goeth forth to judge the world. One light, let it become 1,000, and one sword 10,000, that no man hide him from my Father's eye in the day of judgment of my God. Let the gods hide themselves. Let the angels be troubled and flee away, for the eye of my Father is open, and the book of the Aeon is fallen. Arise, arise, arise. Let the light of the sight of time be extinguished. Let the darkness cover all things. For my Father goeth forth to seek a spouse to replace her who is fallen and defiled. Seal the book with the seals of the stars concealed, for the rivers have rushed together, and the name Jehovah is broken in 1,000 pieces against the cubic stone. Tremble ye, O pillars of the universe, for eternity is in travail of a terrible child. She shall bring forth a universe of darkness, whence shall leap forth a spark that shall put his father to flight. The obelisks are broken, the stars have rushed together, the light hath plunged into the abyss, the heavens are mixed with hell. My Father shall not hear their noise, his ears are closed, his eyes are covered with the clouds of night. The end, the end, the end, for the eye of Shiva he hath opened. The universe is naked before him, for the aeon of Saturn leaneth toward the bosom of death. And of course, that is from the 30th Aether in the Vision and the Voice by Aleister Crowley. Now let us recite together the 7 decreed principles. We decree we can unlock our full potential in this lifetime through hard work. We decree we have natural psychic abilities at our disposal, but they are unique and subjective. We decree communication and adaptability are valuable skills to cultivate. We decree that love is the highest vibration in this solar system, and that thou art God and thou art goddess. We decree that being proactive is better than being reactive, and that vitality is essential to life. We decree we are our own guru, and the success in our lives is in direct proportion to our personal development work. We decree that boundaries and knowing our limits are conducive to growth. So for today's inspired sermon, I want to talk about something fun. Let's talk aliens, because it's all about aliens. Everything comes down to aliens. No, I'm just kidding. Some things come down to aliens. Other things don't. There's so much that's been written about the topic, and I really don't feel like readdressing it here, but I want to hit some key points. One of the ideas that Aleister Crowley had, which I strongly agree with, is that the only hope of survival and prosperity that our species has is to make contact with beings of an alien nature. Sometimes he called them praetor human intelligences. And, looking around at the world, I completely agree. We're not unified as a species. We are a species, but there are so many differences globally that it's hard to connect one person with another who come from varying backgrounds. Now, aliens, what do you think they are? They from outer space? Are they from inner space? There's a lot of different theories out there. Some of them say that they are us in the future that can time travel backwards. Other people say they're civilizations from distant stars. Some people say they live in the hollow earth and they come out through Mount Shasta and other places in their UFOs. The fact of the matter is this. It is just as reasonable to think that there are aliens as it is to say that they're not. And as a matter of fact, it's more logical to say that aliens exist. The United States government, along with the British government and many other governments, have admitted to UFOs. Now remember, UFO is short for unidentified flying object. UFO does not mean alien. It just means, oh, hey, we see a craft that we can't explain. In contrast, are USOs, unidentified submersed or submersible objects. So they're UFOs, but they're under the water. Personally, I like to go with logic. I'm sure there are more than just one type of aliens from outer space. Last time I studied the subject in depth, there were at least 4 different races that are on record with the US government in classified files and other leaked sources. I don't know if that's all there are. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the fact of the matter is, it's been documented pretty strongly over the last 73 years or so that governments and various people have made contact with aliens. I love it. I don't know what the holdup is from them contacting us unless it's our racial immaturity, but they're out there, they're watching us, they're interacting with us. And we got to be careful with that, because a lot of people think when they see the word aliens or when they think about aliens, they get the big eyes. Now, what I mean here by big eyes is when they hear aliens, they really want to make contact and really just push things to the next level of evolution. So everybody goes, oh, aliens, awesome. Well, what if those aliens plan to subjugate us? Then it's not awesome. What if they want to help us, but it's our leaders that are stopping them? We'll never know. Now, let's apply this to history. Let's look at the Great Pyramids, and specifically ancient alien concepts. I'm just throwing the pyramids out there because that's the one that's talked about the most, but really any kind of ancient alien conversation, this can be applied to. A lot of people think just because we can't explain how something was built or something happened, it must have been alien influence. Wrong. Most things that we think are alien influences have really been done by humans. The Great Pyramids are an example. We have the journals of a boat captain who talked about building the pyramids. That pretty much removes any kind of suspicion or doubt as to who created them. We know the ancient Egyptian culture created them, not aliens. There are other historical monuments, UNESCO sites, if you will, across the globe that can't be explained. But we should be mindful not to assume that just because we don't know how they did it doesn't mean aliens did it. That is a dangerous, illogical leap in logic. As a matter of fact, we are still learning about techniques that ancient people used. And with the destruction of the Library of Alexandria many, 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 many centuries ago, we'll probably never know. We can guess, but the books that were contained in there probably had those processes, and now they're lost because of religious fanaticism. Yay, religious terrorists. Woo! Aliens is a catch-all term. I'm an alien to you if you don't know me. You're an alien to me if I don't know you. But let's really kind of contemplate this metaphysically. Because what this is saying is that there are beings out there that are unknown to us or rare or odd, and having interactions with them have done a lot in the name of our species. These interactions, according to one theory, could also be woven into occultism. This is something that the author and researcher Graham Hancock talked about in his book Supernatural. And his line of thought cannot be discredited. His line of thought is that supernatural beings that humans have interacted with at various points throughout the centuries were really just those people trying to explain alien encounters. Why not? That's just as logical as them being supernatural beings. For those of you that have read the Mahabharata or any other ancient holy books, such as the Bible, will know that there's a lot of vivid imagery in the older writings, and that the images that they evoke may not seem to line up with what was going on with people at that time. So we cannot rule out alien contact, and that these authors were writing about it to the best of their abilities. So where I'm going with this is, number one, lightheartedness. Let's have some fun. A lot of people right now are taking a lot of things way too seriously. Number two, have you tried contacting them? I know people that supposedly channel aliens. I've read plenty of channeled material about aliens, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. Is it legitimate? Well, that's subjective. But I love the fact that people are engaging in communication with them. How do you know that that angel or demon or god or goddess that you are working with in a ritual isn't an alien? It's entirely possible. It's fun to ponder. Wherever this discussion takes you, that's up to you. But I share this here to let you know that the term alien and UFOs and these ideas that I've been talking about are not as simple or clear cut or black and white as we might think. There is a lot of work that's been done in this area, and a lot of people explore it independently. And maybe, just maybe, as all of us explore this more, we'll grow as a species. But then again, maybe not. While I personally like Crowley's analysis of them being the greatest hope for humanity, and it's really been proven the last few years that we need something, I can't say that is 100% true, set in stone, because it's an opinion. So what's yours? Answer in comments or keep it to yourself. Really doesn't matter to me, but I want to give you something to think about, especially as it pertains to your magical work. Are the beings that you work with magically just aliens? Maybe there's no angels. Maybe they're just aliens. Maybe there's no fairies. Maybe they're just aliens. Technically, they are aliens because they're alien to us. So that part's already answered. But you know what I mean. So have fun pondering this for a little lighthearted humor and comic relief over the next week. I hope it gives you some insights and some new perspectives on your work. And just remember, just because we don't know how it was done does not mean aliens did it. Thank you. Now we come to the stonework portion of the service. So take the item that you would like to charge or recharge. Visualize that light coming down from source or up from below or out from within you, empowering it, and together, let's vibrate 3 ohms to anchor the energy. Om. 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 And now for current announcements. So, of course, the big news is still the Enochian books. Whales of the Wandering Angels, Enochian Book Alpha, and the Enochian Chronicles are off to a hot start. So make sure you get them if you're interested in them. I don't know how many copies are left of the first edition, first printing, but I do know from Become a Living God that they are selling fast. So if you're a collector, better get in on it when possible. Now, in addition to that, I have begun writing my next book, which should be coming out around Samhain. It will be released through Amanian Press, and the title of it is going to be Spirit Associates. And it's going to talk about spirit guides, but it's also going to talk about other spirits that we might have relations with. See? Spirit Relations is a standalone book on spirit guides. But for those of you that have been reading my series with Amanian, you will find that it heavily refers back to spirit relations. The two are connected. Spirit relations was more finding your psychic skills and learning the unmanifested side of reality. Spirit associates is basically saying, okay, you have that foundation, you have that background. Here's what you can do with it. But like I said, it is standalone. So don't feel like you have to have spirit relations, even though I think you should. You can just take it as is. Other than that, I will be teaching on Stormy Grace's YouTube Academy coming up in early September. And I am looking at events in the near future too. So once again, as longtime watchers of this will know, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I can't announce yet. But the things that I can announce, you're hearing them here. The monthly astrological preview discussions with Adam Knox and the Cult of You are continuing. So there'll be a new one out the first Wednesday in August. And I believe that's it for now. Keep up with me on YouTube. Enjoy the surprise gift that I sent out in the newsletter. And let's go ahead and turn our attention to the message portion of the service. We will continue to use the tarot, and specifically Oraculum Leviathan that myself and Asenath Mason created, which is still available as far as I know. She did the beautiful artwork and I wrote the book. And when I shuffle this lovely deck of her artwork, what I draw for the upcoming week is the Three of Cups. Notice a cup theme, a love theme over the last couple weeks. Isn't that nice? So the Three of Cups is emotional abundance, specifically positive emotional abundance. So it could be someone who's poly in a three-person relationship. It could be a husband, a wife, a child. It could be a parent and two children. There's a lot of different ways you can interpret the literal three side of it. Now, that's only one piece of the card. The other piece of the card is that this could simply mean indulging in your creative pursuits. So, for example, many times I've seen the Three of Cups come up for a musician, and what the card has been telling them is basically to get your ass back in practice because you love it. It awakens part of you that doesn't get awakened regularly or often. Now, conversely, if you are someone that really enjoys music, this could also be saying, hey, go to a concert. It's the engagement in the creative process. So you can see this is a very diverse card. So when we put it into perspective of what is happening for the next week, we see it's a good thing. It's going to be very love-filled. It's also going to be a time to engage your creativity. So if you've been neglecting that, I encourage you to get back to it. All it's going to do is make you feel young again and awaken parts of you that have been dormant. Now we come to the guided meditation part of the service. And this one is going to be on aliens. Why not? If you can't take Rama to the mountain, you bring the mountain to Rama. I think Rama. It's been a while since I've read that Hindu story, but it's the one about Hanuman. Another variation of the phrase from Islam is if you can't take Muhammad to the mountain, bring the mountain to Muhammad. Same thing, whether it's Hindu or Islam. The point of this meditation will be to invite those aliens into your sacred space. Whether or not you make contact with them during this meditation is beside the point. The point of this is to simply extend your senses and yourself and your perceptions to invite them in however they may reveal themselves to you. Now, be warned here, this does not necessarily mean little green men. This could be someone who lives down the street from you, from a culture you know nothing about. That's alien. So as you're watching for it to play out in your life, keep this in mind so that you don't miss an opportunity for expansion and growth. So assume a very balanced, comfortable position, conducive to meditation, preferably with limbs uncrossed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you inhale, feel yourself relax, and with the exhale, feel stress, cares, and concerns leave. Take another deep breath, and as you inhale, feel yourself fully aware of your body, and with the exhale, feel it go limp under your control. Take another deep breath, and as you inhale, find your attention turn to the inner planes, and with the exhale, open your mind's eye and see that you are in your inner temple. Your sanctum sanctorum is as you left it. Everything is pristine and charged. You make your way to your favorite meditation position, and you assume comfort there. As you begin to relax and to focus, thoughts come to your mind of various species from outer space. Whether it is movies or books, an image forms of what you think they look like in front of your eyes. Are they from another dimension? Are they from this one? And they are simply elusive. As you relax and make contact with this alien consciousness that you feel near, you step out of your comfort zone ever so slightly. You think about their ships, about the stories you've heard, positive and negative, and you reflect on the many lessons here. The biggest lesson being that there are those things in this world that we cannot understand. And there are beings in this world that are, as of this time, beyond our comprehension. To the wise, this is a humbling thought, for it is a reminder of our station in life, on this planet, and in the greater multiverse. For some, this may evoke fear, but remember, it is fear of the unknown. For others, it may bring excitement, a possibility of hope and salvation. But as you make contact with the alien consciousness you can sense near you, you also sense that there is a message to be delivered. Perhaps the message is as simple as stepping outside of your comfort zone. Perhaps the message is as simple as reminding you to look up to the stars and the sky. Or perhaps the message is deeper, telling you a particular star to learn about and investigate. Whatever the message is, it is meant for you, and it is meant to inspire you to take your mind further. It is a stark reminder that we do not know everything, and as much as we learn, we discover there is even more that we don't know. While this puts things into perspective and humbles us, it also invigorates us. For the excitement that goes with expeditions and exploration is second to none. The adrenaline rush that comes from discovering something new should not be discounted. The wonder of a child, which is in each of us, should be embraced. That moment of magic when you discover something new. As you make contact with this consciousness, you are also fully aware it is outside of your temple. And this serves to remind you of just how sacred and protected this space is. Take a few moments to listen to the message. Now that you have it, ask yourself what you will do with it. How will you put it to work to expand your mind and better your life? What will you do with the information? How will you apply it? How will you live the changes it brings to your consciousness? And if no contact was made, how are you going to embrace the alien and the other in your daily life, rather than living confined by fear? These questions and the messages you receive float through your mind. And when you look out the window of your inner temple, you see an image of one of those aliens. Pay attention to the features. What do they look like? What is the size, demeanor, clothing, if any? You can use this to make further contact later. And as you study this gaze, as you get it firmly situated and seated in your mind, you know that this is only the first contact. Now it will be time to find or create an image of what you've seen. Now will be time to put to work the message you received, to chase the aliens and draw them to you. Safe in your inner temple, a smile crosses your lips, for you know, once again, this is simply a beginning. And with that realization, you feel your body calling to you. You know it is time to go back to physical form. For every day that you encounter something new, you are having an alien encounter. You move to the threshold of your inner temple. And when you get to the doorway, you look back, resetting your temple to dormant. You exit and begin the movement through the finer planes until your spirit is hovering above the crown of your body. Ever so gently, your spirit slides back into your physical form through the crown of the head, as if putting on a velvet glove. When you feel you are seated back in physical form, you wiggle your toes, you strum your fingers, and you open your eyes. Happy to have made contact with an alien consciousness, and happy to embrace the alien nature of each and every day. Namaste. And now for our closing prayer. God, and remember, thou art God and thou art Goddess. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Remember, donations are accepted but never expected. Thank you to the Patreon supporters and the supporters of this temple for keeping it going. And until we meet again, may we all receive blessings of good health, success, and prosperity as we move forward on the next week of our lives. Aum Ha.